Charizard, probably the world's most popular pocket monster. But it wasn't always that way. In fact, in America, Blue outsold Red at release. Red selling 4.83 million copies and Blue selling 5.03 million. So why is Charizard so popular? If I had to guess, I would say it's because of this Pokemon card. Hello, and welcome to my new series, Topher Crost, What's It Worth? Where I talk about all those lovely nerd items in your collection and tell you how much they're worth. The base set Charizard card was released along with all the other base set cards in the United States on January 9th, 1999. The original base set consisted of 102 different cards, and Charizard is number 4 of 102. From its release, Charizard was for some reason notoriously hard to find, even as far as rare cards go back in the day. And for those of you who've never got to experience the pain of trying to get a rare card in the first few sets of Pokemon, it was hard. You would maybe get one in every 10 or so packs, and the chances of pulling a Charizard were slim to none. This boosted the card's popularity and by extension, everything Charizard. And for those of you lucky enough to still have one, I'm here to tell you, you may have a small gold mine on your hands. Okay, now let's get to the meat. You must be asking, how much is my Charizard worth? Well, it depends on which version you have. I'm going to go over a few for you and go over the differences, so pull out your Charizards and pay attention. The first Charizard I'm going to talk about is the regular unlimited Charizard. You can tell if you have this version 3 ways. First, make sure the border has a shadow. If you're not sure how to tell, the original base set was printed with no shadow or depth around the border. These cards are called Shadowless cards. If you have the Charizard I am referring to, it will have a shadow around the border. This is the best way to tell. The second way to tell is the text at the bottom. If you have a Shadowless Charizard card, the text will read 1995, 96, 98, 99 Nintendo Creatures Game Freak, 1999 Wizards, which is a misprint because they use 99 twice. On the fixed version of the cards, it reads 1995, 96, 98, Nintendo Creatures Game Freak, 1999 Wizards. The third and final way to tell is to use the HP font. The regular card's font will look bolded in comparison, but this method is less reliable if you have nothing to compare it to, so I don't rely on this method as much. So if you have a Charizard that has a shadow border, is bolded in font, and says 1995, 96, 98, Nintendo Creatures Game Freak 99 Wizards on the bottom, you have the unlimited regular Charizard. If you have this version, and if the card is in near mint condition, it's worth about $30. On the high end $40, and on the low end $25. But most sell it for around $30. Next, I'm going to talk about the second edition base set Charizard. This Charizard will have the same features as the one I mentioned before, except it will have the original second edition symbol, which looks like a Pokeball inside of number 2. This Charizard on average goes for roughly $24, on the high end $30 and the low end $20. This makes sense because it was printed later than the regular base set. Now, we get onto the more expensive Charizard cards, the Shadowless Charizards. These were from the original set of Pokemon cards before they decided to change up the format slightly later in base sets. Like I mentioned earlier, you can tell these cards from lack of a shadow around the border. Also, the bottom will have the mistyped 1995, 96, 98, 99 Nintendo Creatures Game Freak 99 Wizards. First, I will go over the unlimited Shadowless Charizard. From what I found, the average price for a Shadowless unlimited near mint Charizard is around $65, the low being around $50 and the high around $80. That being said, I did find a few instances online where they sold for $100 or more if you have them graded with an 8 or higher. So if you're going to sell one of these, I would take all of that into account. And now it's time to talk about the Charizard card to end all Charizard cards. The first edition Shadowless Charizard. The way to tell if you have this one is the Shadowless border and misprint typing on the bottom. The difference between this card and the last card is that this one has the first edition stamp, and this one is everywhere when it comes to price. The one thing that seems to be consistent about this card is that it's pricey. This card typically sells for around $650, on the low end $400, and on the high end $800. That's really up there, but I'm not done yet. That's right, we still haven't hit the peak of money from this card. If you get this card graded and you get a 9 or higher on the card is worth around $2,000. On the low end around $1,800 and on the high end around $2,100. Talk about a nerdy treasure, that's a super gold mine. Lastly, I want to go over my predictions for the future of this card and if it will retain its value. Honestly, I think this card will only continue to slowly rise in value as time goes on. I checked the last 5 years of card sales and it slowly but surely keeps getting more expensive, which means if you have one of these bad boys, hang on to it, and if you don't, get one sooner than later. Anyway, that's it for this episode's What's It Worth? Did you like the video, and do you think I should do another one? If so, let me know in the comments below on what I should cover next. Anyway, see you next time. Topher Crost, out.